Hi guys, welcome to Little Wicket Railway. I'm Rob, and in this video we're looking at some bargain modelling supplies from Temu. Temu got in touch and asked if I'd like to explore their range of models and modelling materials and pick a few things to try out. I've not used Temu before, so this was a great opportunity to give them a go and see what they're all about. And if you're not familiar with Temu, they're a huge online marketplace that offer really competitive prices in a massive range of items. And they really do have a lot of items to choose from. I was spoilt for choice. If you're into plastic modelling, then they've got loads of aircraft and vehicle kits, but I was looking for items that I could either use on my 00 gauge layout or the G gauge layout. And I got so much stuff that I'm going to need to do 2 videos. So in this video, I want to show you some of the modelling tools that I got, a laser cut kit, some bargain electronics, and a fancy way to display your models. And in the next video, I'll show you all the scenic modelling stuff because there's just way too much of it. If you want to check out any of the products Temu has to offer, then the best way is to download the app. And if you use the code DTY3687, they'll give you £100 in coupons to spend. I'll put links in the video description. Plus, if you hang around till the end of the video, I'll share a link that will let new app users buy one of the items in this video for just £1. Right, let's get stuck in and see what Temu delivered, starting with some essential tools that every modeler will need at some point. This is a 138-piece toolkit, and it's got everything you will ever need to service or repair your models. So let's open it up, take a look inside. Starting off, it's got a handy mat for keeping track of all the screws that you remove. It says mobile phone repair tools, so I think that's probably what they had in mind when they did this, but these are all the tools that you'd ever need if you're going to install a decoder or repair a locomotive or service a locomotive. So starting with the main bit of kit, the screwdriver, it's got the twisty base, which is really helpful. It's easy to control because it's got a good grip, and it's extendable. So I do actually already have one of these, but it's not as good because it's not extendable, and this will allow you to get into all those tricky places. To go on the end of that, you've got tons and tons of these screwdriver heads, loads and loads of different types, and they're magnetic, which is really helpful when you're trying to keep the screw on the end of the screwdriver to get it back into that really tricky hole. Then, the thing that makes this set extra good is you've got loads of these little shims or spudgers, I don't know what you'd call them, but they're incredibly useful when removing clip-on body shells. You've got a pair of tweezers in here, always useful for when you've dropped that screw into the bodywork accidentally. And then you've got more spudgers here. So again, these are like plastic wedges for getting in underneath. And these will be really useful. They stop you from using your nails and you're less likely to break clips off bodywork. So fantastic little kit. And the best part is that it only cost £8.91 when I bought it. So you're getting everything you ever need to do service or repairs for less than £9 there. That is a brilliant bit of kit. Moving on to some more tools. So this one's modelling tools. This was £9.85. And in this pot, you've got sprue cutters, a craft knife, some more plastic spudgery type things. And then we've also got another pair of tweezers, flathead screwdriver, Phillips head screwdriver, some precision tweezers. So these ones are the bent with the bent tip, the angled tip, and these ones with the straight tip. Then we've got some files. So we've got these sort of like nail filey things, but in different grits there. We've got some metal files as well. So I, again, already own most of this stuff, but I bought it all individually, and I guarantee you it would have come to a lot more than £9. So that is a brilliant little kit. And you've got this chamois, I think that's what you call it there. And it comes in this convenient little pot to keep everything together, because if you're like me, you use something and you just leave it lying around and it doesn't have anywhere to live. So that's really nice. Another essential kit there. And then I bought this A3 modelling mat, £6.47, under £7 for this, and they come in a variety of sizes. I went for the A3 one, just to give me something to work on. And yeah, it feels quality, nice and thick. It's got all the grid markings on it, and then on the back you've got loads of shapes as well. So as I say, if you're going to do any repairs, servicing, decoder fitting, all really useful tools. If you're into your plastic modeling or your scratch building, again, all really useful stuff. Moving on to some electronics, and you know I love my electronics and my little projects. Temu has a huge amount of electronics, loads of components to buy. So I started off with these Wago connectors, and if you're wiring a layout, it's really convenient to use these. They're better than the suitcase connectors. They're better than, well, they're easier than soldering. Whether they're better than soldering, I don't know. You just pop the ends of the wires in there, you strip the end of the wire back, pop it in there, snap them shut, and that's your connection made. And you've got a selection of sizes in here from 5, 4, 3 and 2. And this big box of, well, unbranded Wago connectors, they cost £8.63. So you're not going to get those much cheaper anywhere else. More electronics, 2 MG90 servos. These are the ones with the metal gears, so they're slightly better than the SG90 servos, although I think they're the same size, which is helpful. These cost me £4.38, so that's about £2.20 each, £2.19 each. So that's a bargain. We've got an ESP32 with Wi-Fi built in. So that's perfect for those projects where you want to do an Internet of Things type thing. That cost me £7.28. Arduino Nano, £3.95. Bargain. And an Arduino Uno, £5.78. And I just bought singles. You can buy these in multiples, and if you buy multiples, you generally get a discount. I also got these 2 LCD displays, 16 by 2, but they've got the I to C converter built into them, which means that you can control everything on here just using the 2 wires. And if you've already got I2C stuff connected to your Arduinos, then it doesn't use up any extra resources. So these are really good. This cost me £5.33 for 2, so that's about £2.60, what, £2.66. And I appreciate just talking about electronics isn't very interesting. So what I'm going to do is take one of these screens, which I think would be the perfect size for a G-gauge train dispatch display board, train information board, and one of the Arduinos, and I'm going to go make myself a little train display board to go on my platform on the G-gauge. So let's take a little break from looking at the Temu stuff, and I'll show you what you can do with one of these. And here's my prototype train information board. I very quickly designed and 3D printed a test housing which fits around the display, and I'm using the Uno here to control it. But I think I'll probably switch to the Nano in future because it will fit in the bottom of the stand. It might not be super clear on camera, but I've programmed it to display the train name at the top, so we've got the Temu Express, and then underneath it shows where the train will stop, and this scrolls along under the name of the train. And this train will be calling at Temu Central, Malvern Sills and Little Wicket. Obviously the housing still needs some refining, but it's a cheap, fun little project, and it only took 31 lines of code. At some point I'd love to recreate this using an OLED display and at 00 scale. Moving on to our next item, and that is this laser cut bridge kit, and it even comes with its own glue. This says it's 172 scale, so not quite 00 gauge, which is 176, but I thought it might be worth putting it together and see whether it's big enough to run some track across and see what it looks like. So I'm going to put my new cutting mat to good use, and let's get this put together. Hopefully it shouldn't take too long. I'm going to use some of my tools as well, because I can't even get this open at the moment. Not what these tweezers were designed for, but they'll do the trick. There we go, we're in. I really enjoyed building this kit. The instructions are pictorial, but they're easy enough to follow. The parts need to be removed from the outer board by cutting through a handful of really small tabs, and then you can just pop them out. A few parts need to be glued together, but it's mostly a tab and slot design, and things tend to stay in place through friction. The board is a good thickness, but the parts are still relatively fragile, so you do need to take your time and be careful not to apply too much force, because otherwise this might happen. Oh shit. Right, so here we are, the finished product. I may have got a little bit heavy-handed in the middle section when I was pushing it together, and I have broken this one. I will own up to that. Not the fault of the model, my fault for trying to build it a little bit too hastily. So there's the finished item though, and I think that would be perfect for a model railway really. Get rid of these ramps, and then if I've got a bit of track, pop a bit of track through there, dress this up a bit of paint. I think that would be a lovely bridge. Moving on to our final item for this video, we've got a display case, and normally these are incredibly expensive, but I think this one came in at less than £20. It should be wide enough to display some good length locomotives. I think it's got an acrylic surround, so it will keep the dust off them. And yeah, I just think it's much nicer to have your locomotives on display rather than in boxes. So let's get it built and see what it looks like. And you'll be pleased to know that I managed to put this together without destroying any parts of it. You just need to remove the protective film from the acrylic and slot the pieces together. There weren't any instructions with this one as far as I could see, but it's fairly straightforward. The stand inside isn't connected to the base, so it can be completely removed if you like. A couple of minor criticisms: the door doesn't have proper hinges, which would have been better, and the slots that the acrylic go into are visible on the top, and they didn't need to be. They could have done them the same way that they did for the shelves. But I like the colour of the wood, and the acrylic is well cut without any scratches. So there we go, all put together, and I think for the price, it's all right. I'm going to go grab some models to put in it. And we've got some models in the display case. So at the top, we've got the Hornby Black 5, the older version. In the middle, we've got the Hornby Tornado. So quite a long model, but as you can see, it does fit. And then at the bottom, we've got a Oxford Rail Dean Goods, just because that's one of the closest models I had to hand. So I think it looks really nice the way it is, but there is one more thing I would like to show you. And I saw this for sale on Temu. It's a rechargeable LED light. You can change the color temperature of it by tapping it from warm white to cool white. If you hold your finger on it, it can dim all the way down and you can make it brighter. But I thought this would be the perfect thing to fit inside the display case and shed some light on the models. It comes with these sticky magnets, so you can easily take it out and recharge it. So I'm going to fit this, and then we'll take one final look at the display case once it's all finished. So that's the light installed, and I think it's the perfect addition to this display case, and I'm very happy with it. And there we go, a real variety of stuff: modelling tools, electronics, laser cut kits, display cases, and we've still got all this scenic stuff to look at in the next video. Hopefully that didn't feel too much like the shopping channel. I've tried to pick items that I genuinely thought would be useful or interesting to us railway modelers. And I have to say that Temu's prices are incredibly competitive. Plus there's free delivery on items shipped from Temu and free returns for up to 90 days. I've noticed that the price can jump around a bit on Temu, and we've all been there when the sales kicked in the day after we've paid full price. That's not an issue here because there is a price protection policy. So if you order something and the price drops within 30 days, you can request a partial refund. If you want to have a look at what Temu has to offer, then the best way is to download the app. There will be a link in the description, and if you use my unique code, I'll put it on screen again, then I believe Temu will give you some kind of reward. Links to the items in this video will also be down in the description, and Temu have kindly provided a link where new app users can get one of my Temu picks for just £1. That's a pretty good deal, and I'm not sure how long that link will be active for, so maybe take advantage of it whilst you can. That's about it for this video. Special thanks to the YouTube members and patrons for your support. It's very much appreciated. If you found this video useful, then please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I will hopefully see you again soon.